Hey folks, my name is Kevin and it's time for a little bit of meta knife nerdery because today we're going to be talking about my channel logo because I just got some stickers made and honestly that's not something I thought I was ever going to do. So I thought it'd be fun to open them up together, take a look at how they turned out, and then talk about why I got stickers made. I also thought it'd be kind of interesting to maybe walk through a little bit of behind the scenes of how I made my logo in the first place and how it changed recently. Did anyone actually notice that my logo changed recently? I'm guessing maybe like all of 2 people might have noticed, and one of them is probably my mom, who, by the way, absolutely subscribes to my channel, watches all of my videos and sends me very lengthy commentary messages every time I post something new. It's very sweet. She's very cute. Thank you, Mom, for the support. Anyway, I thought it'd be fun to open them up, so let's take a look. We've got my slot-modded TRM nerd. Okay, so these are made by Sticker Mule. Stickermule.com. This is obviously not like in any way sponsored by them, but they do these deal things every now and then, and they did a deal on hologram stickers, and I thought it'd be a good time to pick it up. I don't get what this is. This is some kind of like proof, I guess. I don't know. I don't want to look at that one, so I'm gonna just open this thing up. Probably need to think about a good way to store these because I don't want them to go everywhere. Okay, there we are. And I mean, I can't see it now. Oh, that's fun. Okay, so it's super freaking shiny. Anything that's white shows up as this like crazy reflective rainbow color. I don't know. I can't see what I'm doing, so hopefully you guys can see this. Anyway, this is fun. These are 3-inch logos. I asked for full bleed, and full bleed means that the ink runs off in the entire side, and there's no outline on the outside like that. They're 3-inch logos. They are just, 3-inch stickers, and yeah, I'm pretty happy with how that turned out. That's pretty cool looking. Technically speaking, my logo has changed even a little bit more since I made these, but this is effectively my current logo. So I did want to talk about how I got to that. But first, I said I wasn't planning on making stickers, or I never thought I was going to make stickers. And the truth is that I'm just personally not really a sticker guy. Like, I don't put stickers on things. I've never put a bumper sticker on my car. I don't have a case anywhere that I cover with these kinds of things. And so it just never really occurred to me to make stickers. But the more I've talked to people, I realize that other people seem to really like these. And it's just kind of like a fun little acknowledgement. I'm also getting more people sending me loaners and stuff like that. And it's just kind of fun to get a sticker when you get your knife back or something like that. I thought I'd be probably going to throw these into packages. And the big reason, though, why I ended up doing this is because it's really cool having something physical and tangible related to the channel for the very first time ever. Because I'm working in a digital space. And so my logo is like in the corner and on my profile and on Instagram and stuff like that. But everything's digital. It's just little pixels somewhere. So to have something in the real world that I can touch that is somehow connected to this it's just neat. It feels different. It's not something that I'm used to having. This is nowhere near as cool as something like my friend Jake from Bearded Gear. He's one half of Luft Concepts, and he actually designed a knife and went physical, got prototypes made, sold a whole pre-sale, all that kind of fun stuff. And he has a physical knife in his hand, which is a direct extension of his involvement in the community. And that's so much cooler. But this is like a tiny mini version of that for me, where it's like, I can actually feel it. Anyway, so how did this logo happen and why? So I threw together the original version of my logo like a day or 2 before I started my channel. I knew I needed to put something up, and so I went through a bunch of different iterations. I opened up a free vector graphics program called Inkscape. It's basically like Adobe Illustrator, but it's free. It might be open source. I don't remember if that one's open source. When I first started my channel, I was using entirely open source software, stuff like Audacity and Shotcut. I've switched over to using Reaper for audio editing and other things, but I was using an entirely free software everywhere. And so I've been using Inkscape off and on for a long time. It's just a vector editing tool. And I threw together a basic circle. I tried a bunch of different layouts. My friend Dan was like my sounding board through all of this, and I sent him a bunch of different potential layouts. We tried like a cross X thing. I tried like N and D, and K and N, and then like a protractor, but it looked too much like a D. And I wanted to get something that was like clearly mathy and to show like the nerdy side, but also the knife. And so I knew I needed a knife. Also, like, a very common nerdy thing is to put glasses on things, but I don't personally wear glasses. And I don't know. I wanted something that was a little bit more on the like measure, that side of stuff. So I knew I needed a knife. And so I went looking around to see if there were any like free vector graphic knives that looked good, and they all looked like garbage. The vast majority of free vector graphic like SVG files that have anything to do with knives are going to be like kitchen knives or like a Bowie knife looking kind of thing. And they're all really, really bad, because if you want good graphics, you normally have to pay for it. It's a legitimate skill that people are either really talented or work really hard, and almost always a combination of the two. And so the stuff you can get for free is pretty bad. So what I ended up doing is trying to find pieces of a knife that I could work with as a starting point, because I'm proficient enough at dragging vector lines around and, adding little Bevier curve indexing thingamajigs. I don't know what I'm talking about. But I'm really bad at drawing the initial shape. And so what I did is I found two different correctly licensed. I made sure that they were correctly licensed so that I was legally allowed to modify them and use them and everything like that. Two different knife pictures. One that had like the blade that I thought was kind of okay, and one that had the a handle that I thought I could kind of work with. And I popped those pictures in, deleted the handle off of one and the blade off of the other, and kind of mashed them together. And then what I did is like, I just completely changed everything about them. Like I went and I dragged all of the stuff around, I removed a bolster on one, all this kind of stuff. And I ended up with something that was like, okay, I fundamentally changed the shape of the blade, because I knew I just wanted the general shape and move it around, but I still kind of hated it. And it was small enough that it didn't really matter. Like it looked recognizably like a knife, and that was really what I was going for. Is I just wanted something that people would look and go, hey, that's a knife. But I didn't like the way it looked, and I'm not a knife designer, and I haven't sketched out what I want my ideal knife to be or anything like that. So the knife that was in my logo then and the knife that's in my logo now, neither of them are like my ideal knife, the knife that I would make or anything like that. I just wanted something that looked like a knife. But then I saw that they were going to make these and there's this sticker deal. I was like, it'd be fun to make some stickers. And I was like, well, I don't like the state that my knife is in. It's not very good. And so I went in and I started cleaning it up, and I didn't actually change the shape of it at all. I just tweaked and got rid of a bunch of sharp edges and extra vector points that didn't need to be there. There was just like, it was just sloppy, because that's the reality is I put this together very, very quickly right off the bat, right before I started my channel, just because I knew I needed something. And then I posted the cleaned up version in a group chat that I'm in. And Nick Rogers, aka Niche Designs, you might know him for a lot of different things, but one of the more like recognizable ones are like those "If You Know, You Know" t-shirts that people have with like the different blade steels and everything like that. He, as he described it to me, is not a professional or graphic designer person either, but he's been doing it a hell of a lot more than I have, and he's actually really good at it. And so I posted it in a group chat that I'm in that he's in as well, and I was like, hey, here's my cleaned up version. If I had more time or talent, I would probably try and turn this into some kind of sheep's foot blade that I would actually want. And within like 20 minutes or something like that, now I didn't send him my vector files at all. I just like posted a video. Actually, I think I pointed my phone at the screen or something as simple as that. And within like 20 minutes, he came back and sent me basically what is exactly this, and said, hey, something like that, is that what you had in mind? He just did this. He just did this for fun to be nice. And so I talked with him for a little bit longer, and this is basically exactly what he sent me. I did end up sending him my vector file, and he popped it in, scaled it all correctly, and sent this back. And this is what he sent me. I think I might have resized the knife just ever so slightly, but then I sent it off because the deal was ending that night. I have since doing this tweaked the kind of weighting, I guess you would say, on my lettering, because this isn't an actual font. These are letters that I made up. I did start with a font, and if you're a real big typography nerd, you can tell me what font you think I started with, but I converted it to paths and fundamentally changed everything about it. And so my current logo, if you like scroll, this is just squint at the corner of my page or something like that, it does have slightly different lettering, and I did tweak ever so slightly this knife. I made this little point right there slightly less pointy, but it doesn't look pointy. I mean, it doesn't show up at the print level. And I think I ever so slightly tweaked the very tip. But otherwise, this knife, the blade anyhow, the handle he cleaned up too, but the blade is an entirely novel invention that Nick did for me. So that's so kind of you. I offered to compensate him in some way, and he said I can just buy him a beer if I ever am around him in person. But anyway, this is my new logo and these new shiny stickers. If you send me something and I'm sending you back a package, I will probably just throw one of these in. If you want one of these for some reason and you're not in a position where I'm going to be sending you something anyway, feel free to message me. I don't know what I'm gonna do about that. I might like ask for like $1 or something to cover the envelope and stamp it would take to send to you, but I don't know. I don't know why anyone would want these, but honestly, seeing it in person, I'm pretty pleased with how it turned out. And I like this so much better than if I had just gotten a plain sticker, because my logo, it has a gradient as it goes along, and that's kind of visually interesting, but otherwise it's just kind of blue and white, and that makes it pop nicely when you see it at a very small size. That was something I was thinking about, because it's often showing up like that big on the screen. But as like a thing at this size in real life, it'd be kind of bland. And so the fact that it has this draw to it with the refraction and everything, I think that makes it a lot more cool. Anyway, I think this is everything I was planning on talking about. Yeah. I'm excited about it. Let me know if for some reason you'd want one of these. Yeah, I'll catch you next time. Thanks.